Have you ever wondered what can happen when a child is not understood? And what can happen when just once someone truly sees them? When I picked up this book, Totto-chan, the little girl at the window, I thought I was going to read the story of a little girl. But as I progressed my reading, I realized it's a book for every parent, teacher, and anyone who spends time with children. This is the childhood story of Tetsuko Kuroyanagi. She was a lively, curious little girl. While her first school felt that she was difficult to handle and eventually had to leave the school, her mother enrolls her in a new school called Tomo Gakuen, run by a headmaster named Mr. Susaku Kobayashi, who was my favorite character in the book, who believed that every child had something wonderful within them. On her first meeting with him, he sat and listened to her for hours. And that was only the beginning. Tomo Gakuen itself is unlike any school we imagine. Classrooms were converted from old railway carriages. The entire philosophy of the school was built around nurturing each child's individuality. At Tomo, learning wasn't confined to textbooks and blackboard. Rather, they believed that they should learn through direct hands-on expressions. A farmer came to teach children about farming. They could see how food was grown and understood the work behind what eventually appeared on their plates. Nature walks were another regular part of Tomo Goken's day. Though walks weren't simply a break from learning, they became lessons, they observed nature, they asked questions. They were learning without even realizing that they were learning. They included rhythmic movement and music classes where children moved their bodies to music to develop coordination and rhythm alongside their academic lessons. One day, the children were taken outdoors to a beautiful place and they were given the opportunity to cook for themselves. Education was happening everywhere. But one of the things that stayed with me was something very simple. The headmaster didn't just listen to Totto-chan, he made her feel that she was a good girl. He used to tell her, "You really are a good girl." And those words stayed with her years later. She could still remember them. Isn't that remarkable? A few words of genuine encouragement can become a child's inner voice. The book also shows how the shadows of war enter the lives of these children. War doesn't only destroy buildings, it changes families, affects people, animals, nature, and everything around them. When I finished this book, I didn't just admire Totto-chan, I admired the adults around her, especially one headmaster who chose to see possibilities. He didn't try to make every child fit into the same mold. He listened, he trusted, he gave them room to explore, to move, to wonder, and to grow. So important that we should observe our children and try to understand them rather than just make them into what we want. Let them live their life to the fullest. Then values and responsibilities will genuinely become part of who they are. Children don't become responsible because they are constantly controlled. They become responsible because they are trusted, given meaningful choices, and allowed to experience the natural consequences of those choices.